Okay, so you're looking to buy a brand new iPhone 16, but you're a little bit shaky on which model to get. Do you get the 16? Do you get the 16 Plus, the Pro Max? How much storage should you get? What color you should get? Is there even a big difference between these models? We're gonna be looking at all of that and more because frankly, look, I don't want you guys to make a mistake. I did last year and Apple also didn't tell us exactly everything we need to consider. And I personally think this year might be one of the toughest years to decipher which iPhone we should be getting and if we should even upgrade. Also, there's one big thing this year which I don't think a lot of people are talking about, which can make or break your Apple experience. So let's break it down and we're going to be walking through every single model and we'll see exactly what you're getting for how much you're paying and if that's gonna be worth it to you. What's up guys, my name is Tausif Hussain. I'm a chartered accountant turned full-time YouTuber. I make tech and lifestyle content over on this channel. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, then actually don't sub yet. Just watch the video. If you find it beneficial, then sub. I hate it when people ask me to subscribe before delivering value. So keep watching. So starting with the iPhone 16. Now this model comes in at $799 USD and this is the cheapest iPhone that you can get this year. Now by going with this specific model, here's what you're expected to get. The design is pretty much the exact same and you're getting that really nice 6.1-inch Pro Display XDR screen with peak brightness of 2000 nits. You also get USB-C, which is fantastic. You get the new A18 chip, which is interesting because they usually just use last year's Pro model chip, but this year it's a brand new chip entirely. Now I personally think this is because of the all-new Apple Intelligence features that we're going to be getting soon. So this will probably make your iPhone probably more future-proofed, I'm assuming. So having that A18 chip on that iPhone 16 does give me a little bit of confidence there. Now keep in mind that one big thing that not a lot of people are mentioning is Apple Intelligence is only coming to a select few iPhone models. So all the iPhones that are releasing this year, so the iPhone 16, 16 Plus, 16 Pro, and 16 Pro Max, as well as only the Pro models from last year. So the iPhone 15 and 15 Max are not going to be getting all of the Apple Intelligence features. Now, one thing that does concern me a little bit is the battery life degradation, because on my 15 Pro Max, battery life has been terrible. I can't get through a full day. I think my battery health is at 92% now. However, I have a little bit of hope because they did say several times throughout the keynote that there's a big boost in battery life due to the new chip and iOS 18. However, I'll have to confirm that, so make sure you guys are subbed to the channel. I'll be testing all of that out. Now, in terms of protection, the screen does have a 50% stronger ceramic shield on it. My phone is like hella scratched up, so hopefully that helps. But other than that, you pretty much get the same camera system from last year with slight improvements here and there. You have like the same 48 megapixels now, like a fusion camera or something like that. I'm gonna compare all of that stuff, but is there gonna be anything noticeable between 15 and 16? I don't personally think so. But something that really did surprise me this year is Apple didn't really hold back on the iPhone 16. Not only is the main camera pretty much the same 48 megapixel fusion camera that's found on the 16 Pro version of the phone, but now you also get the action button, which only the Pro models had last year, and my favorite feature, which is the camera control button. I am absolutely shocked that they added this to the 16 because this seems like a very pro feature that Apple would historically only give to the Pro models first, at least for a year, like they did with the action button last year, and then maybe next year they'll roll it out to the regular phones. But this year, they went all out with the base model 16. Now for those watching who may not know what the camera control button is, it's basically a touch and pressure sensitive button that you can press lightly in order to give you several different options or slide to zoom and stuff like that. You can double tap it to change different settings, or you can press down on it harder in order to take the actual picture. So it's very, very handy to have on your iPhone. And look, spoiler alert, I'm gonna say it right now. The fact that the 16 has some of these most important new features this year makes the iPhone 16 probably the one to get. Like last year, I think I pushed people in the direction of the Pro because of certain features that I thought were more worth it on the Pro. This year is a different story. Okay, so let's level up a little bit. And for $100, the next step you get is the iPhone 16 Plus. Now, this particular model is for somebody who wants all of those things that we just discussed, but they want it in a bigger and brighter, well, not brighter, bigger screen. Coming in at 6.7 inches, it's nice that Apple has this in their lineup because in the past, if you wanted a bigger screen, you had to pay the big boy dollars in order to go to the Pro Max. So if you're somebody that wants that larger real estate, let's say you're a gamer and you want to game on your phone, or you want to do content consumption, or you just generally prefer larger screens, then the iPhone 16 Plus is a solid option there. You also will get technically better battery life with the iPhone 16 Plus because it is bigger, so you have a bigger battery in there, which could be an important factor to keep in mind. So that's about it for the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus. Now let's add in another $100 level up to the iPhone 16 Pro. Let's talk about what you're actually getting and if you should consider the Pro versions. Now, unlike previous years, I personally think this year is one of those years where the differences are just not big enough to justify jumping between the baseline and the Pro models. So let's look at exactly what we're getting here for those $100 with the iPhone 16 Pro. Well, first and foremost, let's talk about the display. This year, Apple has managed to really squeeze those borders to the extremities and make the Pro phones the thinnest borders on any iPhone product, resulting in a slightly larger 6.3 inches for the Pro. So you do get a slightly larger screen here, but here's the one reason why I frankly had a tough time recommending the regular iPhone 16 over the Pro models in previous years, and I still kind of do this year. It's just the value prop of the base model 16 is much higher this year, and that is ProMotion. Guys, the Pro models have 120 Hz ProMotion display. It is absolutely criminal to me that the regular iPhone 16 doesn't have ProMotion 120 Hz displays. They're still on 60 Hz. Guys, this is 2024 going into 2025. I'm actually like legit shocked by this because even budget Android phones now all come with 90 to 120 Hz displays. And for all of those guys that are gonna potentially argue in the comment section saying
60 Hz is enough, you can't really notice the difference, bro.
Bro, I'm sorry. You gotta get your eyes checked because it is a massive difference going to 120 Hz. Going back to 60 Hz is, yeah, it feels like a significant downgrade personally. So take it from me, my advice, if you haven't used a 120 Hz panel, like your iPhone doesn't have it right now, and you're considering the iPhone 16, please don't go ahead and use the ProMotion displays on the Pro model iPhones, because once you do, you'll find it very tough to move back. Okay. Let's calm down and move on from this topic. Okay, I'm done my ranting. So another thing that you do get on the Pro models is always on display. It's not a deal breaker or like a must-have thing for me, but it's another thing to consider if that's something you need. The next big difference you gotta keep in mind is the A18 Pro chip. So you do get a slightly faster chip in the Pro phones. Having used iPhones for a very long time though, I don't think you're gonna notice a major difference between the two. Both are fantastic, and in my humble opinion, it's not a reason to upgrade to the Pro models. Now, for the third and final change, I'm gonna lump and classify all of these changes into a category that I call professional photos and videos, because that's pretty much the other major difference here with the Pro models. The 48 megapixel lens that we have with the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro, on the 16 Pro version, you do have a new sensor now, which allows faster photo capturing as well as the ability to shoot in 4K 120 frames per second. Imagine that, okay? Shooting ProRes video on an iPhone in 4K 120 frames per second. That is actually incredible. Not to mention the fact that you can shoot in log on the Pro models, giving you really high quality cinema grade color grading options. Now look, if you don't know what any of those things mean, you probably don't need the Pro models. Furthermore, the ultra-wide lens on the Pro models is now upgraded to a 48 megapixels compared to the 12 megapixel lens on the iPhone 16. This is another really cool upgrade, and if you're into photography and videography, you might really like having that higher quality ultra-wide lens. You also have 4 studio quality mics now, allowing you to do some really cool things with audio recordings like voice isolation and layering and stuff like that. And of course, you get that third lens as well, which is the same as last year, and that's the 5x 12 megapixel telephoto lens. So that's pretty much what you're getting for that little bit more money. But now let's level up to the biggest level up that we have so far, the biggest jump in the lineup in terms of price. And let's make the jump from Pro to Pro Max, which is this time $200. So what exactly are we getting for those $200? Well, firstly, like the iPhone Plus, you get a bigger screen, which a lot of people do like. And considering the really small borders again, which Apple really pushed to the extremities, this screen is 6.9 inches, which is the biggest screen that we've seen on an iPhone to date, especially considering that these Pro models are better suited for professional work like filmmaking and photography and stuff like that. Having that bigger screen along with ProMotion, can be very handy. Now, you also do get better battery life because the phone is physically bigger. Other than that, there's no other real differences between the Pro Max and the Pro, which is actually quite surprising. Okay, so these are all pretty much the differences working our way up through the brand new iPhone 16 lineup. Now, one of the things to note here is storage. Now, if you're staying with the iPhone 16 or 16 Plus, your starting storage is about 128 gigs, and that's probably enough in my opinion, especially considering how much we're kind of using iCloud now and other cloud for document storage and stuff like that. Also, switch over to like shooting HEIF photos, which will save you a lot of storage space on your actual device. However, when it comes to the Pro lineup, the Pro Max comes with a base of 256 gigs versus the Pro, which comes in at 128 gigs. So this is the other difference that I wanted to mention, which is the gigs. So even though you're paying $200 more, you do get a slightly more storage with the Max versus the regular Pro. So there's that. And it kind of ties into my recommendation as well, because if you're getting the Pro models, I would recommend at least getting 256 gigs because the storage fills up pretty darn quick on the Pro models. Because if you're going to be using any of the special photo and video features and stuff like that, and the higher megapixel count for the ultra wides and regular lens and stuff like that, it's going to add up. But overall, other than that, this year is quite different for the Pro lineup because there's no real other differences between the Pro and the Max. Usually there's always something or the other, like camera features or whatnot, but this year, you're great either way. You're getting the exact same camera features. So at the end of the day, it pretty much comes down to if you want the bigger screen or not. But I'll be doing a proper comparison on the screen and the sizing of the phones later, so make sure you guys are subbed if you're not. Now, lastly, colors. This is probably my favorite topic in most tech devices, okay? If you're a fan of the channel and you're following along, then you know I love doing color comparisons. Now, this year is a really tough one because the iPhone 16 has some really cool color options. I personally really like the ultramarine blue color. I think it looks fantastic. Like, I've seen photos and videos of this thing and it's really nice. Other than that, you do have the teal, the pink, the white, and the black. The teal is pretty nice as well and quite pastel-y, I think, but I will definitely be getting these colors in and I will do a proper comparison for you guys. Now, as for the Pro models, I'm really tempted with that darker black titanium this year, but the new color this year is the desert titanium. I don't know how I feel about this, kind of excited to actually test it out, but a gold iPhone, I mean, it's a tough call. I want to see if I can pull it off, okay? That's going to be my main thing. But other than those two, you do have the white titanium iPhone as well as the natural titanium. Now, the white one is also going to be the one to watch out for this year, I think. Now, the natural titanium is what I've been using for the past year, so I definitely want to switch it up a little bit. And the white one, I'm intrigued. Either way, I'll be getting all the colors in, so we'll do a proper comparison, Tausif Hussain style. But in any case, let me know what color that you're interested in the comment section down below. But yeah, in conclusion, I think the majority of the people, in my opinion, should just stick with the iPhone 16. This year, the iPhone 16 has pretty much all the important features other than that freaking ProMotion. Don't get me started again, okay? I'm gonna get riled up. You have the camera capture button, you have the Fusion 48 megapixel lens, you still get access to all the neat AI features, you get the action button, you get the camera control button. Now, in terms of what I personally will be getting, I'll probably be getting the Pro Max 512 gigs, maybe even more storage, I don't know. Just because I'm feeling like it. Actually, no, because I keep running out of storage on my phone. Now, that might not be the spec for you. Now, I personally am getting that because I end up using my iPhone as one of my main cameras when I'm filming my vlogs and day in the life and stuff like that. But yeah, let me know which configuration and spec that you guys are getting in the comment section down below. And until then, I will see you guys in one of these two videos. All right, happy iPhone 16 year. Is that a thing?